Most cold calls fail before you even dial. You're calling someone who has no idea who you are, interrupting their day and asking for their time. No wonder 98% of cold calls go nowhere. But what if they already knew your name before you called? What if they've seen your face, maybe even accepted a connection from you? That changes everything. Today, I'm going to show you the LinkedIn first cold call method, a simple process that increased my meeting close rates by around 30 to 40%. Here's what the data tells us. 63% of LinkedIn connections acceptance happen within the first 24 hours. 88% happen within the first 7 days. And when you add a personalized message to your connection request, your reply rate nearly doubles, going from 5% to over 9%. But here's what most people miss. When somebody accepts your connection, they've already said yes to you once. The very first yes makes the second yes so much easier. When you call 2 days later or the next day, hey, we just connected on LinkedIn, you're not a stranger anymore. You're familiar. You're in their network. That's the psychology behind this method. So, this method has 3 steps. Step number one, research. You're going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes understanding who you are reaching out to. Step two is connect. You're going to send a personalized LinkedIn connection request, which has no pitch, just a genuine connection request. And step three is the call. So you're going to follow up within 2 business days maximum with a cold call that references your LinkedIn connection. Let's break down each of those steps. So most reps that I know skip the research or do it wrong. They glance at a LinkedIn profile for around 10 seconds and start dialing. That's not real research, that's guessing. Here's how to do it right. You start with the company page, not the person, the company. First, look at who in your network already follows this company. These are potential warm introductions or at least social proof that you're connected to their environment. Second, check their post for the company. Are they active? What are they talking about? Any recent announcements, product launches, or partnerships? Third, look at the job tabs. Are they hiring and for what roles? If they are adding 5 sales reps, that tells you they're growing. That's a trigger event. Fourth, check the people tab. LinkedIn might say 2 to 10 employees, but when you click through, you might find that 50 people actually work for the company. Now you know the actual size and structure of the team. Now you move on to the individual you're targeting. Look at their current role, how long they've been there. Someone who's been in their role 6 months is often looking to make an impact. Check their career history. Where did they come from? What industries? This gives you a really good conversation hooks that you can use in either your connection request or as a follow up conversation. And then lastly, look for mutual connections or mutual groups. If you share a group, you can reference it in your connection request as well. Here's an AI tip to speed this up dramatically. If you have a list of 10 companies to research or 20 companies, don't do them one by one. Use this prompt. Here's a list of 10 companies I'm prospecting. For each, tell me the industry, approximate size, any recent news or hiring activity, and who I should target by title. Paste your list and AI will give you a research brief for each company in minutes instead of hours. You can do the same thing with individual contacts. Here are 10 LinkedIn profiles I'm planning to connect with. For each one, give me current role, tenure, and one personalization hook for a connection request. This turns an hour of research into 5 minutes. Now, some of you might be thinking, aren't there tools that do this automatically? Yes, tools like Clay, Apollo, Sales Navigator can pull in LinkedIn profile data at scale. They can scrape work history, recent posts, even generate talking points. And if you're doing high volume outreach, these tools are worth looking at. But here's what they can't do. They can't teach you what to look for in a profile. They can't tell you which details actually matter for your specific conversations. And they definitely can't help you pivot on a live call when you learn something new. These tools automate data gathering. They're great for that. But knowing what to do with that data is what separates you from everyone else running through the same automation. That's what this method is all about, not just collecting information, but using it to have better conversations. Now you send the connection request. The rules are pretty simple. Keep it short. You have a message that should be under 300 characters. Those perform 22% better than other ones. Make it personal. Reference something specific, a mutual group, their content, their company, possibly something that you found in your research. And don't sell. This is not a sales pitch. You're asking to connect, not asking for a meeting. Here's an example. Hi, Sarah. I noticed we're both members of the Construction Technology Forum. I'd welcome an opportunity to connect with you on LinkedIn. That's it. No pitch, no ask, just a genuine reason to connect. Timing matters. Research shows that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are definitely the best days to send connection requests and make cold calls. Send them in the morning or early afternoon in their time zone. Best windows are typically 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Avoid Friday afternoons and weekends. Your request will definitely get buried. Another AI tip, if you're reaching out to multiple people at the same company, you need different messages. So try this prompt. Write 3 short LinkedIn connection requests for name, title, company. We share a mutual group called X. Keep it casual, no selling, and definitely under 300 characters. Now you have variations that don't sound copy pasted. Here's where it all comes together. So you wait a maximum of 2 business days. You can follow up the next day, but I would say 2 business days maximum after sending the connection request. Some people accept same day, but most of them will probably accept within two business days. After 2 business days, they probably won't accept at all. So you call anyways, even if they didn't accept, you're warmer than a complete cold call. So here's the opener I would use. Hi, John. My name is Robert. I'm calling from a company. I recently sent you a LinkedIn invite. Now there's a fork in that conversation. So if they accepted, say, thank you for accepting my LinkedIn connection, and then pause. Let them respond. If they didn't accept, say something like, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see it yet, but put that into your own words. Either way, you're transitioning now to the ask. It's no longer a weird, awkward, cold call conversation where you're trying to rush through to the point of the ask. So I would continue. Uh, I was calling because I wanted to set up a lunch and learn for your team on a specific topic. We help companies, and then I would state what that outcome and end state is from there. So notice that I said lunch and learn, not meeting. A lunch and learn is usually a much lower commitment from a company. You're offering education, not a sales pitch. And notice I said outcome, not product. Nobody wants to buy a quarter-inch drill. They want to buy they want a quarter-inch hole to hang a picture on. So sell the outcome. Sell that forward-looking state that they're going to be achieving after this education scenario. So if you want a softer approach, you could try this. You could always say to that individual, I'm not sure if you'd be the right person to speak with about setting up a lunch and learn for your team on topic. This works because you're not assuming anything. You're giving them permission to redirect you, and people love doing that. Even if they say that's not me, they'll usually tell you who it is, and you have an opportunity to work your way through that. So why lunch and learns instead of meetings, you might be asking? Well, some statistics that you can look at and reference in medical device sales, lunch and learns generate 15 to 20% conversion rates and reduce sales cycles by about 15 to 20%. That's huge. In AEC building materials, lunch and learns are pretty standard practice for selling to architects and engineers. It's how specs get written. Same applies for IT and SaaS types of situations. We've just transitioned and naturally kind of moved over to trying to cold call for a specific meeting where you're going to try and identify pain points and work from there. The format works because you're providing value first, and then you can progress into additional meetings afterwards if there's alignment between what you're promoting versus kind of their future state or want to get into their future state. So when I use this method and the prospect has accepted my LinkedIn connection before I call, I typically will see like a 30 to 40% increase in my meeting close rates. It's huge. I've used variations of this across enterprise software, fintech, construction tech, AEC. The industry really doesn't matter. The psychology is the same. That's not a small improvement. That's the difference between hitting your quota and missing it realistically. So the LinkedIn first cold call method works because you're not cold calling anymore. You're warm, you're familiar, you're already in their network. I put together a free download with everything you need to run this method yourself. There's no payments for it. It includes the LinkedIn connection request template, the cold call scripts with both versions, and the AI prompt package for batch research. The link is in the description below, so sign up right away. And if this was helpful, subscribe to the channel. I'm building a complete cold calling course and releasing it here on YouTube. When it drops, subscribers will be the first ones to get it. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.